Welcome to another segment of the 30-second prayer that changes everything. Living the life you love, one moment at a time. It just brings me such great joy to come to you every week and add to the revelation that we are learning about on how to live in peace, how to be successful, how to reflect the thoughts of God in our upside down crazy world. And so it brings me great joy to be able to share with you just what I'm learning. And God is willing to teach, and that is a wonderful thing. So God has given us a wonderful tool. Those of you that have been following me know that Proverbs 16:3, I say it's the best kept secret in the Bible. Maybe not the best. Salvation was in the Bible, and that was a marvelous revelation that we could all come to the foot of the cross and be born again. But I do love Proverbs 16:3, and I do call it one of the best kept secrets in the Bible. So it's a simple tool to set our thoughts in agreement with God's will so that we can walk through our days every single day, walking in peace, in order, not overwhelmed, not fearful, not disgusted, but just thinking the thoughts of God, because He doesn't have any of those thoughts. And so we don't have to either. This little tool is simple and powerful, but it's not always easy because we have a flesh that wants to go contrary to it. So that requires us to exert some effort over our flesh and as we surrender our day and our plans to God. Proverbs 16:3 in the Amplified Classic says, roll your works or roll your plans upon the Lord. Commit and trust them wholly to Him, and He will cause your thoughts to become agreeable to His will. Every time I read that, I am just going, really? That is amazing. And then to top it off, will be established and succeed. Biblical success. That's biblical success, not worldly success. But God does help us be successful in the world. He helps us make wise decisions. He helps us to know what to do and what not to do. And He causes us to prosper. I'm going to read a scripture for you. I just added it at the last minute. It's in Psalms 37. By the way, Psalms 37. I just was reading this over and over the last few days with all the crazy stuff that's going on in our world. Psalms 37 puts everything in a peaceful perspective. But let me read in verse 5. It says, and I'm going to read from the Passion. It says, give God the right to direct your life. And as you trust Him along the way, you'll find He pulled it off perfectly. His directions are perfect. And then verse 7, quiet your heart in His presence and wait patiently for Yahweh. Wait patiently for God. You know, when we run ahead of God, we mess up. We run off and we think we know everything. We mess up. Quiet your heart at the beginning of every day and say, Father, not my will, but yours be done. Psalms 1, verse 1, it also in the Passion says this, oh, the joy of those who do not follow the advice of the wicked, or stand around with sinners, or join in with mockers, but they delight in the law of the Lord, meditating on it day and night. And they are like trees planted along the riverbed, bearing fruit each season. Doesn't that sound good? Their leaves never wither, and they prosper in all that they do. That's how to be biblically successful. Psalms 1, verses 1 through 3. You know, we know some things that we've got planned for the day. I know what I need to get done today, but I don't know what's going to pop up in the middle of the day. And I don't know everything that I'm going to face today. So that kind of puts everything in perspective when I say, Father, I commit this day to you. I know some things that are going to happen today, but I don't know everything. And that kind of sets me in a place of dependence on God for His help. So trusting Him to line our thoughts up with His will so that I can be successful. I finished writing my book, The 30-Second Prayer That Changes Everything, in 2019. This is the book, and you can order it off my website. It'll come from Amazon to you. Or you can contact me on my website if you're local, and I will autograph the book, sign the book for you, and include this laminated bookmark. It has a 30-second prayer right on it, and send it to you or deliver it to you if you're from the Omaha area. So in 2019, I wrote the book. Well, what happened in 2020? Our world was turned upside down and backwards in February and March of 2020. We had to deal with COVID. And so I just kept writing the blog posts. My book was published, but I started a website and a blog so that I could encourage myself to stay on track with God. I didn't want to lose that revelation just because our world was upside down and backwards. And so I just kept writing. I continued into 2021, and I kept training myself to commit my ways to God and think heavenly thoughts. Colossians 3, verse 1 says, "Since you've been raised to new life with Christ, set your sight on the realities of heaven, where Christ sits in the place of honor at God's right hand." Think about the things of heaven, not the things of earth. There's a lot more peace in thinking the things of heaven. And you bring God into your day when you ask Him to help you think that way. We will have a difficult time doing that if our minds are cluttered. Just like it's hard to manage our homes and our cars and our office and our garage when we have too much stuff. So we have to declutter and organize so everything functions. The same is true in the area of our soul. That's where we keep all of our thoughts and our opinions, and our emotions are flying around, and our choices, good and bad, they're all right there. But we are going to talk about getting rid of our opinions again, because that is like half of the clutter will go away when you get rid of your opinion. And really, what are our opinions worth anyway? Ask yourself, is my opinion worth anything? So, by praying the 30-second prayer, committing our day to God and thinking His thoughts rather than our own, that is something we can do on purpose. God doesn't have opinions about things. He speaks truth about things. So what if we spoke the truth when God showed us to do that and kept our opinions to ourselves? And what if we just didn't have any opinions? But here's what we're going to do this week. For 24 hours, purpose in your heart not to have an opinion, not to express an opinion, and see if God doesn't help you recognize you were just about to say that, weren't you? That phone call came in and you were going to offer your opinion. Or you met somebody for coffee and you were going to offer your opinion. So just commit 24 hours to God. And I'm going to do the same thing because I need to get rid of my opinions. Not only don't say them, but do you think we could ever get to the point of not having them? I think that would be good. Let's be so full of the truth that we don't have room for our own perceptions that are not based on the truth. When we get rid of our opinions, our life will be simplified exponentially, not just additions, but multiplications of peace. Exponentially as we practice. And you know what? We can say to ourselves, hey, this is really none of my business. I don't really have to have a say. I wrote this down. Of course, when people have concerns and we want to have an opinion about it, we definitely can pray about it, but we don't have to say about it. I love when God gives me those things. And really, like I said, what's our opinion worth anyway? As we surrender our thoughts and plans to God, He will give us thoughts that will lead us in a straightforward direction to biblical success, which comes directly from God. And then we get the joy of enjoying the peace all along the way. I do a Bible reading every day, and it's a little video. It's called the Bible Recap. You can go to BibleRecap.com on YouTube and get these little 6-minute, it's a little excerpts, and Tara Lee Cobble, that's who it is. She takes a scripture verse or a segment of scripture, and she explains it. And then she always ends it by saying, that's where the joy is. Well, I want to end every one of my videos where that's where the peace is. When we do the 30-second prayer, that's where the peace is. So God bless you all. Subscribe to my blog. There's tons of videos and blog posts on there that really can enhance your this time of learning when you're learning to submit your plans to God. Because don't we want to be successful? Of course we do. Of course we do. We want no matter what's going on in our world, we want to be stable and fixed under the shadow of the Almighty. That's Psalms 91:1 in the Amplified Classic. Stable and fixed under the shadow of the Almighty. And when we stop our opinions, stop saying them, and also stop having them, we will be cooperating with God, and He will be better able to keep us stable and fixed. And that is where the peace is. God bless you all. Bye-bye.